It's Monday the 15th of April. I've just spent another day counselling, and here's an idea that was aroused by one of the sessions I did today. And it's the notion that when you avoid something, it comes out in other ways. So there are various examples of this, and one is around kind of trauma or emotional trauma and stuff that you haven't fully worked through. And often to the degree that you haven't worked it through, you act it out or you express it in all sorts of ways. So, in classic cases, a lot of people who are violent are actually acting out some sort of, say, childhood trauma that they haven't worked through and they haven't turned into language and into ordered emotions through that within them. And therefore, they go out in the world, they just act it out. They act it out with their fists, for example. Another example, and I'm touching more on the discussion from today, although I'll keep it quite, I'll be sparse with what I say. But a whole family is suffering, and one person in the family clearly needs some counselling, and people often don't. People don't always need counselling, but in this case, one person clearly needs some good counselling, and they deny that. They're fine. They don't need to work through it, and yet they're trying to enrol all the other family members as counsellors for them. They're trying to sort of relate to the other family members like they're counsellors. So the person's kind of avoiding working through the issue, but what's happening is it's sort of coming out anyway, and it's coming out in an unhelpful way. Now, I want to step a bit further to another idea that's related to all of this that didn't come up in the session, but it's a really important one that struck me for a long time in counselling, and that's that when you can't hold and process and learn to live with, etc., your own pain, you tend to pass it on to others. Now, this is especially the case to the degree that you're blind to yourself. When we're all blind to some degree, and some people are downright deluded. So, to the degree that we haven't really understood our own pain and confusion and so on, especially the pain and the suffering inside us, whatever it is, to the degree we haven't processed it, digested it, is one way I often think about this. I don't know why I think about eating metaphors a lot, although I think they actually are quite important psychological metaphors, notions of like eating. To the degree we haven't digested the pain and learned to hold it, learned to transform it into something better, certainly, but more simply than that, just have learned to really hold it and understand it. To that degree we haven't, we tend to pass it on to others. We tend to get angry at others or cold. We tend to withdraw. We can be judgmental. We can cheat on our partner. We can, at the worst, we abuse our partner. We abuse other people around us. We reduce men, or we reduce women, or we reduce some other group to a category. Women are this and that. Misogyny, and it goes often, very much the same way. With people toward men, all men are like this or that. So we're kind of passing on the toxicity that we haven't managed to digest and transform. We haven't managed to kind of hold and understand. We pass it on to others. We throw it at others. We try and inject it into others. I guess a big example of this is parents who haven't worked through their own stuff and they just kind of inject it into their kids. So yeah, a few ideas there that I'm sort of throwing around. As usual with most of these reflections, I don't rehearse them beforehand. I'm just sort of thinking off the top of my head, but trying to do it coherently based around a couple of ideas. And here it really is this idea of needing to work through things, and to the degree that we don't, it spills out, it gets acted out, it gets handed on to others. So, there's a real, it's really important in life to understand ourselves and to work through our stuff, by which I often just mean learning to be able to live with it and hold it. Because life's going to involve a lot of pain and suffering that can be, some of which can be worked through and done away with, and other aspects of which we might just have to hold on to, and that's part of life. But if we can really learn to hold it skillfully, that makes all the difference in the world to our own well-being and to the well-being of the people that are in our lives.